Hello, and thank you for joining us today. You know, when you think about the ways our bodies naturally respond to stressful or traumatic or dangerous situations, it basically comes down to fight, flight, or freeze as you figure it out. And rapper Hurricane Chris chose to fight for his life after a man attempted to rob him of his luxury vehicle. In an act of self-defense, he shot the man several times and killed him. In 2023, a Louisiana jury found him not guilty on all second-degree murder charges. And he's in the next chapter of his life now and opening up about dark times and the best times ahead. I am honored to have here on the show Hurricane Chris.
Hey.
Hey, it's good to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Good. And let me just thank you in advance for just being so open and so candid. I've seen you talk about this issue, but it is, it's a lot to take the lessons and share them publicly.
Right.
But can we go back to what happened that day at the gas station? This was in 2020.
Right. So I've been in Shreveport, Louisiana for the majority of my life, and I had moved away from home during this time, and I visited to visit some family because I had been homesick and I just needed to feel some love.
Yeah, entertainment business taking its toll. We needed to get back home to the company of family. I get it.
Right. So, I mean, one day I'm in the community in a neighborhood that I'm pretty familiar with, stopping at a gas station, and I see somebody that I know, one of my old security guards. We begin to talk. I leave my car parked and I walk over and I'm talking to him at his car window. I get in the car with him and we're just talking. It's somebody that I haven't seen in over a year. So as we're talking, I realized somebody was breaking into my vehicle. So I ran back over to my vehicle. At this point, when I got to my vehicle, he had already gained entry to my vehicle. I had my legal sidearm on me, but I had another rifle inside of the vehicle within his arm's reach once he broke into the vehicle.
Okay.
So my goal was to get him away from the vehicle and to step away from the doorway and stop reaching into the vehicle where the weapon was. When I made commands for him to step away from the vehicle, that's when he began to reach into his pocket, make verbal threats, step towards me, and continue to go deeper into his pocket to get what I could see to be a bulge.
And that's when you made the decision.
At that point, it was either sit here and see if this guy's gonna allow me to go home or face the threat and make sure that I can go home.
Understood. So we know what happened. From that point, you fired the shots and the man died.
Yes.
And you said all along to police that this was an act of self-defense.
Stayed on the scene, made statements, cooperated with them as far as giving them information on why the situation took place. Dialed 911, everything. Went downtown to give statements and to let them know everything that happened.
And ended up still with a mugshot. And charges for second-degree homicide.
Yep, they choose to charge
Which comes with some very serious life consequences if you're found guilty. You know, we've pointed out that you were acquitted, but so much happened after that I can imagine you just were not expecting, right?
Right.
You go to trial.
Right.
And took your chances with a jury and it worked out. But were you just stunned that you were on trial in the first place?
Well, I was stunned that I was even charged.
That you were charged, yeah.
When they told me they was charging me with second-degree murder, I was dumbfounded because I knew deep down inside that I was in fear for my life and I would only make this decision to ensure my safety. So it was just crazy to me that I'm 100% in the right and I know I would never do nothing to harm nobody. You know, it was hard for me to take it in.
And we should point out you did not have a record.
Never been in any type of legal trouble.
I think I read somewhere the only time you even got in trouble with your mom, she was fussing because you were late coming home and you were late coming home from the studio.
Right.
I mean, there have never been any issues.
I've never been in no trouble.
So it's 2023, right? By the time you're acquitted, we know COVID and a whole bunch of other things had a lot to do with the length of trials at that time. But what was that like for you emotionally going through that process? Because it took quite a toll on you. You've been open about the toll on your mental health. Explain.
Every day I woke up, I felt like it was my last day living.
Why?
Because at any given time, a judge can say guilty, and in the state of Louisiana, second-degree murder carries mandatory life imprisonment with no parole. Not life as in 25 to life or 35. In Louisiana, when they say life, they mean you walk into a jail and the only way you will leave is in a body bag.
So I have to imagine too, you're thinking every day of your son. You have a very young son at that point, right?
Right.
You're the love of your life, his
Right.
mother, your life partner, the family, everything that you stand to lose. And we're looking at this beautiful picture of the two of you here.
Okay.
That's a lot, right?
Right. And I just always been a family man. I spend my life with my family. I've always spent my life with my family. And
How did you explain this to your son? I mean, he was much younger now. He's just 11 now. But how did you explain what was happening
well,
to Daddy at that point?
a lot of the media that covered it, he's not following, and
Oh, good.
I don't allow him to dive head first into everything that we partake in media wise. So I kind of like keep him in a kid's world. But I do think in the back of my mind, he had to hear something at some point in time. And
kids
he had
talk,
to go across something on YouTube after typing my name in. We never had a conversation about it. And still to this day, I'm not even sure if he is even aware that this situation took place.
Wow. Kudos to you and Mom for keeping him sheltered from that to the extent that you can.
Right.
But the lessons that you have taken in and that you share now with so many others, that's so important. And I want to get to that when we return, because you do encourage people to talk about sort of the trauma of going through situations like this.
Right.
But you've also done a lot of really amazing things in the community since as well. So I want to get to all of that when we return.
Let's do it.
All right, stay with us. We're going to be talking to Hurricane Chris about his upcoming projects and how he's using his story to help youth in urban cities avoid violence. We'll be right back. Hey there, Portia here. Listen, that was a good conversation, wasn't it? Want to see the rest of it? Just go to portiashow.com, scroll down until you see that particular episode. But listen, before you scroll on out of here, I need you to do me a favor, please. Like, comment, let us know what you thought of that episode, and subscribe. And if you already are a subscriber, we sure appreciate you. In the meantime, we'll be sure to see you on the next episode of Portia, and you can catch us weeknights on Fox Soul as well. Tell your friends. Tell them to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.